Hello, I'm Steve Pufall, Superintendent of Schools for the School District of Janesville. Safety is a priority in our school district. Our success in this is based on our relationships with our students, our families, and our community. The video you are about to see outlines our district's daily safety procedures as well as describes how to respond in a serious threat or crisis situation. Your attention and understanding is critical, and your commitment keeps our schools safe.
Hello, I'm Mike Madison, Assistant Principal at Marshall Middle School. As educators, safety is always on our minds. Families trust us to keep their children safe both physically and emotionally. Outside doors are locked, access is controlled at the front entrance of every building. All visitors check in and are provided with badges. We have an emergency response plan in every building and run drills to prepare for emergency situations. We collaborate with police and fire departments to provide a strong defense in the case of threats to our schools. We are trusted to keep children free from emotional abuse and trauma while under our care. We do this by addressing cruelty and harassment immediately and by teaching students through our own inclusive, respectful, and caring interactions with others. But safety is not just about students.
Hello, I'm Jolene Taronis, Assistant Principal at Parker High School. Safety and security is the job of all staff members in each and every building in the district. Here are some general tips that everyone can keep in mind to ensure that all students, staff, and community members remain safe while in our care. Keep all external doors closed and locked. If you walk by a door that is propped open, re-secure it. If you find a door that is unlocked, call someone to lock it. Everyone in the building should have an ID badge or guest sticker that is visible. Guests must enter at a controlled entrance and sign in order to receive a guest sticker. If you see someone in the hallway without a name tag or sticker, ask if they've had a chance to check into the office and then escort them there to sign in. Actively supervise students. Teach safe, responsible, and respectful behavior as part of your daily work with students. Whenever possible, include the safe and respectful use of technology. Be aware of your surroundings. If you see something or someone that doesn't look right, express your concerns to a building administrator. Each school in the district has access to a Direct Connect radio. In an absolute and worst-case scenario situation, staff can use this radio to tap into the radio frequency of emergency services. Be assured that our police and emergency services will respond immediately. All district buildings have building emergency response plans. Review the plans for your building at least once a year, or several times if necessary. If there is a need for the school to be placed in a lockdown situation, please keep the following tips in mind. A soft lockdown is initiated when there is a threat outside of the school building or when there is a need to limit staff and student traffic in the hallways, for example, during a medical emergency. A soft lockdown is initiated with an announcement over the PA system. Staff should scan the hallway for students or visitors, then lock and close the door. Class will remain in session and teachers can go on teaching. A soft lockdown ends when two recognizable voices make a joint announcement that the lockdown is over. A hard lockdown is initiated when there is an imminent threat inside or outside of the school building. A hard lockdown is initiated by an alarm sound over the PA system and ends only when two recognizable voices come over the PA system to announce that it has ended.
When a hard lockdown is asked for, it's because of an immediate threat inside or outside the building, and staff and student safety is a major concern. And the priority here is getting everybody into a secure location inside their classroom, which would require possibly a teacher activating the code themselves via their phone. Once the code is activated, the teacher's priority is to get their students into a corner of the classroom and to be quiet. And that teacher, if they activated the hard lockdown, make sure that they call 911 to let the police know what is going on. If they cannot talk because they're fearful they might be heard, they can leave the line open, and they can also text to the 911 center what is going on. And here's where we ask students to be extra quiet and that we want to control cell phone usage to a minimum or none at all so that all the lines can remain open and not be busy for emergency personnel that will be arriving. Each building is going to have a lockdown tone, and you're going to have to be familiar with each school's tone that you work in. Now, an administrator could also be putting the building into a hard lockdown, and that would come over as an announcement, and you would know that it's in a hard lockdown. But most likely, it will be a tone, and once you hear the tone, you're going to need to proceed into the lockdown procedure, checking your hallways, make sure there's nobody out there, pull anybody in that might be out there, and then securing your own room and getting your kids into a corner of the room where they're going to be quiet, and you'll make other decisions from there. If you hear the door handle shake, please do not announce that you're in the building. It could be the intruder that's checking doors to see if they're open. And if you acknowledge that you're in there, the intruder might work harder at getting into that room. So please just wait until police officers come around, and when they want to get into the room, they will have a master key to come into the room. They will not knock and ask you to come to the door. So do not open the door for anybody for any reason. Police will get into the door with a key. It's important for you to know each of the schools' code to put the building into a hard lockdown, because depending on what building you're in, if you see an immediate threat to staff or students, you should be able to put that building into a hard lockdown to keep everybody else safe. If you hear the lockdown code in your building, you need to treat it as if it were real. If it were done by mistake, or if it is a drill, it will be announced after it is over by the two recognizable voices and the announcement by your administration in that building.
Every teacher should know their classroom. If you are a substitute for a day, or you're a long-term substitute, or that is your permanent classroom, or you move your class to a computer room or the library, you should always have an idea of what you would do in that situation, where you would put your students, where is the safest place to go for everybody. Every situation and every room is going to be different, so you have to have some sort of plan wherever you are in the building.
The school district of Janesville has acknowledged that they need to give staff within the school some other options when it comes to the unfortunate situation of an active shooter or another situation that would cause the school to go into a hard lockdown. That may not be the only option or the best option for staff to use, and there's a national model of run, hide, and fight. And the running portion and the fighting portion are some new alternatives that they can utilize. The first option is always to do our hard lockdown procedure, which is the hide portion of that. That is always the option that teachers can go to, because it's a comfort level for them. If you haven't pre-planned this situation, if you haven't thought about why we would do this or where we would go, you're always going to revert back to doing the hard lockdown procedure and the hide portion of it. The second option that teachers could utilize, or any other staff members in the building, would be the running portion of the national model. Now, we encourage that teachers have thought about, pre-planned this ahead of time. It's recommended that they would have 2 escape routes if they were to utilize a situation like that. They are also recommended to have 2 reunification locations if they were to utilize the running portion of that. We, of course, don't want them to go into an area that is having a problem within the school. For instance, the situation or example of an active shooter. We want them to go the other direction, or obviously shelter in place. Don't worry about your personal belongings. Unfortunately, you may see some injured people or individuals that are asking for help that you're probably not going to be able to help at that time. You need to concentrate on getting your students that are under your control at that time in the building out of the building to the location that you've talked to them about. So another reminder that we wanted staff in the school district to think about is what officers are going to look like. It's going to be officers that are dressed like me in a normal, everyday patrol uniform, whether it's blue like mine for the City of Janesville Police Department, or brown for the Rock County Sheriff's Department, blue for the Beloit Police Department, because yes, they will respond up to help us out. There's all different agencies from around Rock County that are going to respond to any given school within the county to assist in the situation that's occurring. So it's not going to be ballistic helmets and stuff right off the bat. And things that we want staff to remember also is there's people that work in plainclothes, detectives. You may or may not see that they're armed at times depending on their dress. You may or may not see their badges in certain situations because that's by choice. We have plainclothes officers that work in street crimes and other specialized units within the police department that don't have on your standard police uniform. They're also going to respond. If you see something that looks like they are marked as a police officer, we recommend that you follow the direction of that person.
Your ultimate goal of the hide is for the active shooter who is out wandering the halls, will not see you, and he's just looking for random targets, so it'll make it more complicated for him to find you and get at you, so he'll bypass your room and move to the next easiest target. When the active shooter, or if the active shooter gains entrance into your classroom, the fight portion is implemented. At that point, you need to arm yourselves, the teacher and the students, with anything from a stool to a fire extinguisher, to a broom handle, weapons such as perfume that's in a purse or cologne that guys carry, anything they can spray. During that time, you're also going to want to make sure you're as loud and obnoxious, making any kind of noise, anything that can distract the shooter so people can either run or they can assist you in the fight.
I'm Kim Perenboom, principal at Wilson Elementary School. As a parent, your number one reaction when hearing of a school safety concern or threat may be to come to school to find your child. In order to not interfere with emergency response team protocols and to keep parents safe, we ask that parents adhere to the following guidelines. Parents should not call their child during an intruder incident. If the assailant is still loose in the school, a ringing phone could lead the assailant to students. Parents should look for information and updates about the incident, student pickup, and/or reunification at evacuation sites via Infinite Campus phone, text, or email alerts, the news media, including the district channel, and the district website and Facebook pages. Thank you for making sure our schools are as safe as they possibly can be. We all should be aware and prepared. If you see something, say something. Your actions can make all the difference for everyone's safety and survival.
As we close, please remember to keep yourself emotionally and physically safe. Compassion for students in crisis, on top of the daily demands of teaching, can be overwhelming and emotionally draining. Slow down, take time to breathe and collect. Watch out for and support each other. Don't miss an opportunity to help a fellow staff member through a difficult period. Don't be afraid to ask for help if the person in need is you. If you have any questions, please contact your school resource officer or administrator.
I appreciate your time and attention. It is our priority that students are physically and emotionally safe while in our schools. Having a great relationship with every student is the foundation that makes this possible. Safety depends on each one of us knowing and following the practices outlined in this video. Every employee is important when it comes to safety. Take this seriously. Your actions make a difference. Thank you.